I'm on a quest to find music and art. Supporting local talent is the place I start. Yeah, this is our culture, the place to be. Games, books, arts and crafts and jewelry. This the Guardians of the Geekery. 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 And now for today's episode of Guardians of the Geekery with your hosts, Matt, Carol, and Joey.
All right, Guardians of the Geekery Market Edition. Yes. Hey, we just wanted to have a little midpoint check-in, if you will. As we're recording this, we're less than 100 days out.
Yes, indeed.
So
less than
by the time
90.
this airs, we'll probably be at 90.
No, less than 90. Less than 90.
Less than 90. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Like, remember when it
sweating
was like 360 days and you guys thought I was ridiculous? Well, you still think I'm ridiculous, but
Oh, yeah.
Only on days ending in one.
We're all ridiculous in this trio.
So we decided, we had an opportunity to get together, just the three of us tonight, and talk, and we thought, hey, let's just talk about kind of being at the halfway point. So I just kind of want to touch base. So how you doing, Carol? I waited till you took the sip. I was like,
Yeah.
Perfectly timed.
Perfectly timed. I'm doing okay. Looking forward to the market. I forgot to turn my. There we go. That's a little bit better. Although I look a little.
Ooh, let there be light.
That's yellow. I know I'm purple. Probably should have done this before the video started. I'm looking forward to the market. We've got some really cool new vendors this year that I'm really looking forward to. So, and we've had them all on the show. So it's kind of cool. It's cool finding new people.
Yeah.
And even people that were there previously that I had somehow missed. So, like Functional Mud.
Carol's like, we're gonna have to put a strobe light warning on this podcast.
There it is. There's the white. There's the white. Okay.
I really like that too. I kind of feel like selfish because doing this podcast, we get to meet all the vendors and all these artisans, and I'm calling them artisans for a reason, right? Like, we call them artisans because they're making the stuff. Yes. You can go to other events and they're vendors, because they're there to literally to vend or to sell. And but these artisans actually make the stuff that they're selling, and you get to talk to them about how they made it and see behind the scenes and all sorts of stuff. So I feel like, and they really do become our family as a result, don't you think? I mean, I feel like, I know them now.
People like John Hartness, I mean, you can say, well, he doesn't make the books. Nobody writes them, so he does kind of make them. And he's not writing them, he's publishing them for other authors. So even that, I mean, even the booksellers at our event, you're not going to find Stephen King, and you're not going to find, J.K. Rowling, thankfully. You're going to be able to talk to the actual author of the book and say, hey, this is really cool. Tell me about it.
Yeah. And I listened to our podcast in the car, just because sometimes when we're recording it, we're thinking about the next question and all that kind of stuff. And then it's, no secret here, we record 3 or 4 at a time, so they come out a week or 2 after, and then I go back and listen to them again, and you get to hear what you were talking about again and be like, oh yeah, that was really cool when they talked about that. So like the episode with Juliette Rose was on my car podcast as the next one to come up, and I got to listen to her talking about the whole process again. And each of the writers has a slightly different writing process. And so it's like you can kind of find the style that works for you if you're a writer. So it's been really kind of fun. What about you, Matt?
I agree that, I mean, the stories, that's probably the best thing I like about the podcast, are hearing the stories. And this is this one, no surprise, you're kind of the driving force, Giddy Geeker. And Carol has her really good questions too. So, but it is always interesting to learn those personal stories. And the functional mud, yeah, that was a first for us as far as
Yeah,
this is our
actually
first year
have
doing the video, but having them spin and make a mug in person, I agree, is just it was a first for us, and kind of makes me think too different things we could do in the future. Um, as far as more interactive or kind of action oriented podcasts, since we've got the video element. So on the off season over the holidays after the market, I plan to look at some more. Uh, Hold my chops with video editing, and
Yeah.
hopefully we can do some even keep expanding what we're capable of. I mean, we don't know what until we don't what we don't know, but yeah, that just kind of definitely got a lot of my creativity going. Like, oh wow, that's just something that was kind of a static one camera thing, but a lot of these people, yeah, they're it'd be cool to watch somebody make a sticker, make these things and show people. And I think too, just kind of what I like about video, I'm really an audio person first, but because that creates a whole different sensory image in your mind, if you will, when you're doing the audio, just audio. But with the video too, I think it's just amazing because it kind of just opens your mind to hey, this is accessible for everybody. We talk about accessibility as far as mobility and these different things, but um, you know, it's like you want to. The Olympics are going on right now, and that's been inspiring too. But it kind of teaches you like, oh my gosh, like there's something today where hey, little girls, my sister used to jump on a trampoline, and she liked dinosaurs. Our niece likes that too, and now she's in the this lady's in the Olympics and just killing it, medaling. And what does she do? She's a paleontologist, and she jumps on the trampoline. It's just all that stuff you think is not a skill. As a kid, some people give up on that. It's just like I just think the world is so much more open now, and some people want to stop that. And I'm glad we have a place where we can celebrate that and encourage people. Like, hey, you can make something out of that. Not everything, but almost everything these days. You can you can specialize in and do more. Even and not even have to specialize. You can do two or three things. It's just I don't know. The world's just so much more open. So I got a little tangent there, but it is that is the fun part with the podcast is there's so many possibilities, and I'm excited for like the next technology that can take us even further and showcase these people with these amazing talents.
Well, and I do think one of the things that the videos do that, I'll be excited as more and more people start to realize that is that you get to, even if you're somebody who has challenges with going out in public or with going and being in large crowds of people, or just, you get intimidated by talking to an artisan face to face. You don't want to ask a stupid question or whatever, which never seems to bother anybody coming up to our table. But, we're not making anything, we're just talking about our event. So it's a little different. But this video series gives them a chance to see that stuff and really see them in their environment. I mean, whether it be a stack of fabric behind you or them holding up their different products as they talk, or like you said, with functional mud, being able to actually see them make it as they go. And, some of the features that we might be able to look at for future seasons, not this year, because we put a lot on our plate. We literally over doubled our podcast season
Yes.
and our spotlight season, and I think it's going great, but it's a lot. But people could actually watch, we're going to have 50 Southern got in there,
It's your birthday.
50 podcasts prior to the show. So people can actually go and see, and we've had a couple that were not necessarily people directly related. We had like Omega Sparks, but I mean, he does our intro outro, so you got to meet him. And he's been to the market, but we've had a couple people that were not necessarily directly related to the market, but you're going to see over 45 of the 100 people here.
Yeah. And actually just see their product beforehand.
Yeah, and shop. And
Yeah.
if you can't come, you could still buy from them
You can still
online.
find them online and find them, through our website and still purchase from them because, the holiday season is right after the market and geeks need to support geeks.
Yeah.
Oh
It's
yeah.
true. It's true. So I'm really excited about that. And and just so many of the people that we get to talk to, it's just such a good time. I feel a little selfish because it's kind of like when we were gathering all the charity items for the Geek Gala, you get to see them all and get excited like it's Christmas. And then you get to see them again when you give them away to that lucky raffle winner and see the smile on Carol's face as she walks off with the laundry basket
Of books.
full of books. I've never seen such joy out of Carol's face, and we weren't even friends yet. She was just beaming. But yeah, I mean, stuff like that. But then, I get to be part of it, but I don't become a hoarder in the process. Although Matt might disagree about that if you go look at our garage, but like some of the other stuff. So I think that's been kind of fun. So, all right,
Absolutely.
this is your chance. I promise I will be as truthful, as honest as possible. What questions have you always wanted to ask me about the geekery market that you've been afraid to ask? I will not get mad at either one of you. Carol's like, when do I have to stop lifting boxes? No kidding.
I don't know, man. My health may be putting that one on the kibosh, but
Yeah.
Speaking of,
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess we've been doing this so long. I've got all of my questions answered, weirdly enough.
What question have you always wanted to ask Carol, Matt? Because Carol and I talk all the time, but you don't always get us all alone to ask us questions.
How many secret storage spaces do you own to hoard books?
Oh gosh. They're not that secret. They're like all over the place. I actually I have 2 more bookcases on order. So
Wow.
I went a little crazy this year at cons and I made a New Year's resolution that I was going to buy 1 book per con, and yeah, that flew out the window by the second convention.
By the first convention.
I think at Redcon I bought 2 or 3.
Well, and I think I got you a book too, and I think somebody gave you a book, so you were up the
2
creek.
of them were like given, but
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure RavenCon, was it Raven or the one before it, where I won books in the auction, and then Con Carolinas I just can't stop. I don't know, because my car's there and I can just put them in the car. I'm not transporting luggage home. But now I need to read them. That's the problem. I'm getting on in years and I need to read them.
I know.
Maybe when I'm gone, you can bury me with my TBR list.
I've really got, I used to have a long commute up until about April this year, and I would do the audiobook thing. So I'd go through a book or 2 a week, listening to books, and sometimes I'd buy the physical one and say I would read it, but I just never really got around to it. But now I don't have that commute, but I've got other things kind of filling my time. But I keep buying books, but it's really difficult when you probably all feel this. I know we all do, but it's like there's these crazy bargain sales, whether it's on Amazon or like a friend or a bookstore getting rid of some, doing some clearance items and stuff like that, where it's like 80% off, and you're like, I feel like you're kind of adopting a book, like rescuing the book, like we rescued Angel, and Carol, you rescued some cats too, and it's just you just feel like, oh, I want to keep them from that. But this morning I was going with Geekery to a doctor's appointment, and there's a library, and I'm like, oh yeah, we have this really big library.
I have a library
10,
like
10 minutes from us. I need to see what they've got and support them too. Because I do love libraries, and I grew up heavily using them, especially. I think all of us around the similar age. I mean, there wasn't the internet, so you went to the library and looked it up.
Yeah.
But anyway, but yeah, books just amazing.
I will say I utilize my library quite a bit for like bestsellers or well-known authors. But the books I buy at conventions are generally people who are selling their books, and I want to
Yeah.
support them. So, yeah, I'll buy a lot of books from smaller authors. And I know I need to catch up on reading those before, but a lot of like the big sellers, I will go to my library and get them. And you can always request books at your library. So if you see one of the authors on our podcast and you go, hey, I kind of want to check out their stuff, you can request, some Falstaff books be stacked at your library. So
Yeah. And you may have noticed I usually used to have my Saturday Evening Post picture here. But we've been doing some redecorating. We've been taking down some of the artwork from some of our problematical fandoms, not mentioning any names, J.K. Rowling. And so we've got wall space back, and that wall has got probably, a 10-inch depth on the side. And I actually was looking like, do I go and buy that other bookcase? I hadn't even told Matt that yet. Because I was like, well, I want to be able to put more geeky stuff behind us during the podcast. Because, I usually have my little Easter egg over here. I don't know how much of an Easter egg it is if I tell you, but I have my little Easter egg over here. And I thought about putting a bookcase back there. But what I really need first is somebody to come over and take all of my books, because the problem is the books are not all in one room, and I need somebody to organize them, and also like add them to an app for me, because one of the challenges is that Matt wants to support small authors and I want to support small authors. And small authors working with small publishing houses, sometimes those publishing houses go away and then they go and publish with new publishing houses. They reprint and they decide to change the artwork. And so I won't mention any names, Stuart Jaffe, but we have 3 copies of the same book, all signed to us. So we're never going to get rid of them. But he bought one, not realizing I bought one. And then I bought one later when it was a different cover. So
yeah, and I think if they're signed, we're keeping them
we're
for sure.
stuck.
It's such a nice thing. But you Geekery, you put out the little library. So I haven't even posted it yet, but I got a couple pictures. But I think that's really cool because we're able to support our friend Herc, and then also Mikey Mason. So I don't mind buying an extra copy if it goes and something we can share with the community. I think that's really cool. But the other thing too is, Kara, to bring up a really good point of the independent authors. They're not going to be on a regular, if you will, library shelf. But yeah, I would like to look into, okay, if I donate a book to library, will they actually put it on the shelf, or do they probably just have a billion books in the back? I don't I don't
Well,
even
some
know.
libraries want them to be a library quality book, so it's going to stand up. But your
Yeah.
local, like high schools and elementary schools and stuff like that. I mean, we have a librarian friend, Jessica, who will post about going to Goodwill because her children's library at her elementary school was so understaffed when she first got there that there were just not any current books and there wasn't a budget to buy them. And then, of course, as she grew, she's got a nice following on TikTok now, but she would throw up an Amazon pay list and get them. But I know one of the challenges is there used to be a time where they would only order certain books if they were hardcover or a certain weight of paper, and sometimes some of the smaller publishers, that's just too cost prohibitive for them. So, and for
That's
our
a good
audio fans, you just missed,
that
was
was
that
Nick.
Nick
That was
walking
Nick.
across the screen?
She's
So.
about to come back. Pacer.
You just
She
need
likes
to
to
attach
pace.
the little shark fin, because it's just like donna 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 as it goes across the screen.
Awesome.
They see the
You're at
computer open and they're like, "Oh, it's time to go bug mom." I don't know if you
But
listened to my Deadpool and Wolverine review, but right at the very end, I said, "This is the Cinemistress signing off, and time to make the chimichangas." And then Persephone just went right in the microphone. So she got her 2 cents in.
No, but I was listening
Right.
to one of our episodes when I was telling the story about the little kid in the plane going wee, and I must have done it at too high of velocity because it just cuts out. It goes wee, and that's it. So evidently I was too high a pitch that only dogs could hear, and it just cut me off. So it's pretty funny.
Show your butt. No kitty butt.
Oh,
Yeah, so we've still got 20 plus more episodes to go. The Geekery market is fast approaching. Definitely make sure you go check out Shrunk 3D,
Oh, yeah.
and start saving up your money for that. Go back and watch some of the old episodes. You can stream them on YouTube. So if you are like Carol and I, that sometimes you like to have on some background, you could put them up on your TV and stream them from there. You can listen to them on Amazon Prime, Spotify, 365 Live or Live 365. Outworld Fleet Radio, they air us the week after we air, 3 times a day on Mondays and Wednesdays, so you can listen and catch those episodes. But it would be a great way for you to kind of find out and tell us what you like and you don't like. You can email us at marymayhem@thecharlottegeeks.com or at charlottegeeks.com. It'll come to the three of us along with Wanda, and you can let us know what you like and don't like about the show, who you would like us to see have on the off season. We've got some interesting people that we're hoping to bring on, and some local game shops and different things in the area when we're not promoting the Geekery market that we want to make sure you're aware of, so you can support them too. Maybe some cat shelters, cat cafes. But yeah, so make sure to come and check that out. And and then we've got to start getting on Matt to get back to writing, but he's got a new article up on the website about some comic books. And tell him he needs to write a new leather jacket guy, because I like that series. So, but
oh yes, so much. Yeah, I just that's a good point too. There are articles by Carol does book reviews. I'm starting to write a little bit again too, about comic books, and hope to have some comic book owners and things of that nature back in the written form. So the charlottegeeks.com, there's just a treasure trove in our archives, but we are putting some more new stuff in. But I'll be honest, you can see my gray hair. I'm not getting younger at all. We're aging a little bit, and we really could use some new voices too. So we really love people. If you're interested in writing, if you're interested in being on the podcast, definitely if you're interested in helping us with out at events, those tables, those different setups get a little bit tougher each time as we age, but and we wouldn't throw you out into the wilderness by any means. We've got different people we can help you get what you write or get your ideas formed out if you need that type of help. If you don't, fantastic. But just go for it. Like I was saying earlier, I mean, I have to keep reminding myself. It's like I remember as a high school kid, me and my friends, I had to rent a VHS recorder that was probably as big as my head, and weighed more. And it was something like $100 for the weekend. And my friends and I made a short little video, little comedy thing, and we had a blast. And it was like, I remember as a kid just being like, oh my gosh, I wish it wasn't so expensive. And now we all have these phones in our pockets that aren't really used for phone much anymore. A video production studio that's just amazing, and where you can do podcasts right off your phone too. So something I've got to keep reminding myself is, hey, you wanted this, you would have killed for this when you were younger. So let's get back in there. And of course, being an adult, your time constraints are a lot different than when you're when you're a kid. But I don't know. It's just definitely something. We want new voices. We want all you folks to have your dreams, and if we can help you with any of that, we're happy. Especially somebody named the Geeker. We're all more than happy to help you out and realize your vision, whether it's here with us or elsewhere. We're more than happy to help you, because I think this is the age where everybody deserves a voice, and there's no reason not to have yours. You're heard, and you do have a unique perspective. And I for one, and I think Joe and Carol too, would love to hear it or see it or help you in any way we possibly can. So.
Yeah, that's what we're here for. So we definitely have some articles on the website. I actually posted an article recently about a playwriting competition that's happening in the area. They're looking for submissions. We try to post about different Kickstarters that people in the community are doing. So if you have a Kickstarter you want to share, you can send that to us, and obviously the Kickstarters and stuff like that, we're trying to support small business. So we're not doing a bunch of GoFundMes and stuff like that unless it's somebody directly part of the community. Like when our dear friend Chris Mirabelle passed, we shared that, of course. But we try to share different music and anthologies that are coming out, different fun events that are happening in the area. So definitely, make sure to let us know about it. And if you want to become part of this craziness, we'll do that. Next year we talked about maybe possibly making some of our recordings live. So if you want to see how the sausage is made before it comes out on the air the following week or week after, and you want to be part of the video audience, let us know that. We can certainly switch our format up next year to do that. But yeah. So anyway, well, it was fun to chat with you all for just a bit.
Nice.
Yeah, and we would be remiss if we didn't mention that Carol and I are crazy, and as if we didn't have enough to do, we have started a new one as well. On it. So you can check that out. It's on the same page. If you go to charlottegeeks.com, the Two Woke Bonnets podcast page is on there. And so you can go and find out about that and listen to that. And we have bingo cards. We watch Little House of the Prairie episodes and talk about them. And then, there's stuff going on. I also put up a link tree, and I will add that to the Charlotte Geeks website as well. But if you follow me on TikTok or other places, you can actually, all these hair pieces that I buy for the podcast, if you would like them, if I got them from Amazon or somewhere where it's easily accessible, and some of them I get from craft fairs and conferences and conventions and different things, but some of them I got right online. So if you would ever like one of those, or you want to know where I got something else, just let me know, and it's all up there. The books that I review online, you can purchase those as well. So we're happy to share that. That's the whole reason why we do the Guardians of the Geekery. We're trying to guard and support the geekiness around us, because on an international level, Ryan Reynolds doesn't need my help, but Nicole Kurtz from Mocha Memoirs does. So we're going to try to support people that we think are doing great things in the community that you might not know about otherwise. So make sure to join us and come check out the Geekery Market, November 9th. We'll see you there. Bye. All right. Bye.
That was an episode of Guardians of the Geekery. Thank you for listening. Check us out at guardiansofthegeekery.com and stay tuned for more content.